is one of the countries that is experiencing environmental degradation issues. Consequently, the country is very much affected by the adverse outcomes of these problems. Yet, are Filipino authorities and citizens investing enough time, attention, and effort to alleviate this occurring and worsening issue?
The Philippines had close to 22 million hectares of old-growth forest. At the start of 2000, we had less than 600,000 hectares of old-growth forest left. In 1 century, we had cut down close to 97% of our original forest. A study by the Environmental Scientists for Social Change, or ESSC, reveals that we have systematically cut this forest down and that we have not stopped its destruction and that of its core biodiversity. After decades of deforestation, which has left about 3% of the original cover, forests continue to be under threat from agriculture and urbanization, illegal logging, and forest fires. Sustained forest loss in the Philippines is causing severe soil erosion and is threatening to the country's rich biodiversity. The International Rice Research Institute estimates that it takes over 4,000 liters of water to produce 1 kilo of rice. Because of the loss of forest, we have less water since most of our fresh water comes from watersheds found in the forest. Therefore, loss of forest means loss of food.
From temperate forests to tropical rainforests, deforestation continues to be an urgent environmental issue that jeopardizes people's livelihoods, threatens species, and intensifies global warming. Is the process whereby natural forests are cleared through logging and/or burning, either to use the timber or to replace the area for alternative uses. Deforestation is a major cause of climate change because it releases huge amounts of carbon into the atmosphere, contributing to the greenhouse effect. Deforestation and forest degradation are both a cause and a result of climate change. Plants absorb carbon dioxide and use it to grow, but when they decay or burn, carbon dioxide is released again. Decaying plants also produce methane, a greenhouse gas more potent than carbon dioxide. So deforestation and forest degradation are doubly damaging because greenhouse gases are released, example, through forest fires or using the cut trees as firewood, while at the same time, the number of carbon dioxide absorbing trees are reduced. 30% of the carbon dioxide added to the atmosphere over the past 150 years is thought to come from deforestation, but this is a small amount compared to what is still stored in forests. The Canadian and Russian boreal forests alone hold 40% of world's carbon stocks. 12.5 million hectares of forests are lost each year, the equivalent of 36 football fields per minute. What are the effects of deforestation? First, reduced biodiversity. Deforestation and forest degradation can cause biodiversity to decline. When forest cover is removed, wildlife is deprived of habitat and becomes more vulnerable to hunting. Considering that about 80% of world's documented species can be found in tropical rainforests, deforestation puts a risk amid to the majority of the Earth's biodiversity. Second, release of greenhouse gas emissions. Deforestation causes 15% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Of these, carbon dioxide emissions represent up to one-third of total carbon dioxide emissions released from human causes. Third, disrupted water cycles. As a result of deforestation, trees no longer evaporate groundwater, which can cause the local climate to much be drier. Fourth, increased soil erosion. Deforestation accelerates rates of soil erosion by increasing runoff and reducing the protection of the soil from tree litter. And lastly, disrupted livelihoods. Millions of people rely directly on forests through small-scale agriculture, hunting, and gathering, and by harvesting forest products such as rubber. Deforestation continues to pose severe social problems, sometimes leading to violent conflict.
The Philippines is suffering from degradation of natural environment. It has 50 major rivers now polluted due to abuse and neglect. Approximately two-thirds of the country's original mangroves have been lost. Only about 10% of sewage in the Philippines is treated or disposed in an environmentally sound manner. The rest goes back to nature, usually the sea. In this context of poor waste treatment and high population growth, water pollution is a growing problem for the country's groundwater, rivers, lakes, and coastal areas. More than 400 plant and animal species found in the Philippines are currently threatened with extinction, including the Philippine eagle, the tamaraw, and the dugong. In 2001, 49 of the nation's mammal species, 86 bird species, and 320 plant species were threatened with extinction. Endangered species in the Philippines include the monkey-eating eagle, the Philippine torture, tamaraw, 4 species of turtle, hawksbill, Philippine crocodile sinarapan, and 2 species of butterflies.
Did you know that thousands of measurements of the Earth's air, water, land are taken every day? These measurements come from weather stations, airplanes, ships, satellites, and many other sources all around the globe. Taken all together, these measurements and other observations tell us that the Earth's climate is warming. People are the main cause, and impacts on society and the environment are already happening. The Earth is getting warmer because people are adding heat-trapping gases to the atmosphere, mainly by burning fossil fuels. These gases are called greenhouse gases. Warmer temperature are causes other changes around the world, such as melting glaciers and stronger storms. These changes are happening because the Earth's air, water, and land are linked to the climate. The Earth's climate has changed before, but this time is different. People are causing these changes, which are bigger and happening faster than any climate changes that modern society has even seen before. Global warming has become perhaps the most complicated issues facing by the world leaders. Warnings from the scientific community are becoming louder, as an increasing body of science points to rising dangers from the ongoing build-up of human-related greenhouse gases, produced mainly by the burning of fossil fuels and forests. Climate change is a global problem which requires global solution. All countries will experience climate change impacts and have an interest in preventing rising temperatures and taking actions to better cope with any impact.
The Philippines is a hotspot for climate change disasters, particularly the risk for agriculture and food security due to extreme El Nino and severe tropical cyclones.
The Philippines has experienced temperature spikes brought about by climate change. It has been observed that warming is experienced most in the northern and southern regions of the country, while Metro Manila has warmed less than most parts. In addition, the regions that have warmed the most have also dried the most. Largest precipitation trends are about 10% during the 20th century.
Recent scientific studies reveal that human activities have contributed significantly to the increase of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere that causes climate change.
The spread of infectious diseases are influenced by fluctuations in climate variables, temperature, relative humidity, and rainfall. Several super typhoons, like Remin, that pummeled the Bicol region in 2006, destroyed at least $90 million worth of agriculture products and infrastructure.
Diseases such as dengue fever, malaria, cholera have increased throughout the years. Climate change impacts on coastal zones and marine ecosystems caused massive coral bleaching, especially in 1998, due to elevated sea temperature and fish kills, and red tides like the one that occurred in 1992, which was an El Nido period.
The most apparent environmental issue we literally see every day is the problem on solid waste management. Obviously, we can see piles of garbage almost around every corner of the streets. Litters are scattered almost everywhere from your house, as you ride to the jeep, even until you reach the university.
Unfortunately, improper solid waste management is one of the causes why we are suffering from different natural catastrophes, such as rampant flooding and dying rivers and lakes.
Scientists warned the Philippines could experience famine by 2020 as the adverse impact of global warming takes its toll on the natural resources. Thousands will be displaced from their homes, especially the low-lying coastal communities.
Tsaka na-abuse yung environment natin kasi ginagawa natin yung mga hindi dapat, like yung mining sa Palawan, yung Pasig River, ang dumi-dumi na. Ayun, tapos what can I do to save it? Parang yung hindi pagtatapon sa kung saan-saan. Siguro best help na yun ng kahit sinong tao.
Thank you!
Unti nang nasisira environment. Lalo na sa mga illegal logging, ganun. Tapos anong magagawa, di ba? Anong magagawa? save yung environment, tapos wag wag mag 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 mag-participate sa mga charity works at saka something to do with the environment to save. At saka yung mga trash, dapat wag ikalat-kalat, gano'n.
Start na ba? Nowadays, most of teenagers uses electronics. In this case, there is a need of higher demand in energy, and it causes degradation in our environment.
What can you do?
I think what can I do is that I can sell my old cell phones, and instead of throwing it or something, I'll just give it to someone else to use.
That's all?
That's all.
Tingin ko nasisira na yung environment natin because of pollution, like water, air, noise, lahat ng pollution. Kaya masasave, tingin ko, masasave siya pag sumali ka sa mga fun run, mga for a cause na mga activities. That's all.
Hello! Oh, sakay niya. Joke lang ganyan. Tingin ko yung ozone layer, panipis ng panipis, resulting para mabutas, tsaka lalong umiinit yung panahon dahil doon. Yung mga contribute ko, tingin ko, through siguro simpleng tamang pagtapon ng basura sa tamang lugar.
Mas nasisira yung environment natin. Tapos mas lumalala yung pollution. So, tsaka sobrang unpredictable na yung weather. Contribute ko, reuse, reduce, recycle. Ano sa tingin mo nangyayari ngayon?
Nagkakaroon ng environmental degradation dahil sa pollution na gawa rin naman ng mga tao.
Anong sa tingin mo magagawa para doon?
Baguhin natin ang mga habits natin. Matuto tayo mag-care sa environment.
Go!
Palala na palala ang pagdami ng basura sa bansa. Tapos ang magagawa ko, wag gumamit ng styro sa pagkain.
Go!
Sa tingin ko po nasisira na yung environment. Sa tingin ko makakatulong ako dahil sa simpleng pagtapon ng basura kung saan dapat tinatapon.
Go!
I think the environment we have today is deteriorating. Tapos, nag-iiba na rin yung weather dahil sa global warming.
Ayun, tas in order to save the environment, we need to, in our simple ways, like, pick up trash you see around. Tapos yun nga yung 3 R's, yung reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Go!
For me, our environment is practically wrecked. It's practically destroyed now. And a lot of people are taking it for granted, especially nature and all the basic things that we're getting from our environment, and we're not taking good care of it. And we're more focused on our technological advances, not on what we can do to maintain and sustain our environment. And what can I do for me to protect the environment or to do something better for it is to start small, like not throwing my garbage anywhere. Start small at home, in school, participate even in the simplest ways, like if you would go to the PITA and there are some newly attached trash bins there, you can just put your trash there and not buy anywhere, so the sewage system here, especially here in Manila, won't be much affected.
Environmental protection can start at home. At home, individuals can protect environment by observing some simple rules.
When disposing some obsolete appliances like refrigerators or air conditioners, they can ensure that they properly dispose of as the chemicals of the cooling agents usually containing CFCs may escape into the atmosphere. Individuals can curb the habit of readily throwing away things as it would only worsen the rubbish dumping problem. If possible, alternative uses can be found or they can be recycled through proper recycling facilities. Rubbish that is disposed of must be secured in garbage bags as rotting rubbish produces methane that contributes to the greenhouse effect. More specific ways that we can do in order to make a difference is that driving less, insulating your house better, changing your voting priorities, buying organic food, buying fuel-efficient appliances, and vehicles.